Yes, welcome back. Slots happening, people. I am in the hot seat now with you guys to go through your fan reactions to Liverpool 2-0 over Brentford at Anfield. Arne Slots' first appearance at the helm as head coach for Liverpool Football Club. He's 2 for 2. He's off to a good start. Perfect record, 2 clean sheets. As Scott Hawkes did say, mentioned just as we was finishing off the watch-along, Liverpool only did back-to-back clean sheets once last season. We've already accomplished that and matched that record already this season. So, defensively, looking a lot more solid based on the evidence that we can see in front of us. But this guy shows about you guys. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your feelings. How did you process that game? You happy? Were you not happy? Things that stood out to you? Let us know. Rate them in the comments now. I will read out as many as I can. I'll give you some of them. And then stick with me. Stay tuned because I will be doing your player rankings over at the board in about 25 to half an hour, minutes time. And we will go through some of the players and we will give them all fair-ish rankings for their afternoon's work. Let's jump straight into it. We've got young Metro Joke Man saying, people hate Trent out of pure envy. Grow up. What have I missed? Somebody tell me the juice. What have I missed here? Craig M. Okay. Well, do you know what? You've said it, so let's get it in there. Trent's overrated. Let the flash one go. I don't know about that, I don't know. I don't see another fullback in this league offering to a side what Trent's capable of offering to us, and then just being in a position to say just let that person go. And I don't see one we can bring in to replace Trent's just output alone, let alone obviously the importance the man means to the team. Let's see. Let's see what else we got. I like this one. Welsh 7 up at the ready for next weekend. That would be nice. That would be absolutely lovely. Yeah, Liverpool's next game in the Premier League is a trip to Old Trafford. And yeah. There we go. Mimi B says, thank y'all. Missed the game, but top watch along as always. Thank you very much for that. It is appreciated. Thank you very much for everyone that tuned in to the watch along, dropped a like on it as well. Make sure you do go and do some admin as well and follow all of the guys here at Redmen on socials, across social media, wherever you find us. Go and follow the gang. Yeah, it's Nick T here that says, great win, enjoying the way we are controlling these games. Bring on United. Yeah, I mean, that's it really for me. I think it's the manner in which that we did control the game, because I think in the first half there was probably about from the 13th minute maybe to the 25th, Liverpool seemed to not only score a goal and we was clinical on the counter, but we did seem to get in control of the game, probably not getting as much possession as we'd have probably wanted in terms of getting it to that percentage of how much we was dominating on the ball, but we allowed Brentford to get back into the game. And I don't know whether that was because there kept being stops for fouls and there was a lot of breaks in the game, which just kind of played to their style and suited them more than it suited us. It kind of disrupted our flow of patterns, but definitely I'd say that they finished this first half stronger, and it was on Liverpool then to really come out in the second half. And we didn't come out firing out of the blocks. It took us a good 10 minutes before it really started to click. But when it clicked, we looked frightening at times. And I said in the chat before, we flexed our muscles, and someone said, yeah, we flexed our muscles and scored 1 goal. But fair, if that's what you think. But had Brentford not been defending for their lives and been very much last ditch in a lot of areas in that second half, Liverpool would have scored a handful of goals really, because the movement was there, the passing into the forward lads to give them chances. I think Luis Diaz had a handful of chances there. I know he creates one for Salah. Salah has a couple of chances that get blocked. Jota has a shot that gets blocked. There's a header there by Ibu Konate. There was chances there where you're thinking, yeah, that is Liverpool flexing themselves. Liverpool are asserting their dominance on this other team now, and Brentford are struggling to be able to live and adapt to what Liverpool are doing at the moment. And it was interesting. The longer the game went on, the more that block got lower and lower for Brentford. The harder that they defended, but the harder it became for us to really create any clear-cut chances. It's only when Brentford decided to step up 20, 30 yards up the pitch and try to start playing again, it was almost as if Liverpool lulled them into a false sense of security that, boom, Liverpool just clinical, take the ball off them, dispossess them, get the ball in it and behind, into the back, couple of passes in, Mo's in, wonderful touch, which I'll point on in a minute because I don't think his touch was great for the majority of the game, but it is a wonderful touch and it is a great finish with his second touch as well there, ladies and gents. Brian Atkinson says, I think 10 games in we'll have more of an idea of where we are. Too early to get carried away. Good to see competition for places and players hungry to play. Yeah, completely agree with that. I think it is. I'm going to need at least a 15-game sample size of, I said last season, we was bringing in 3 new midfielders. All of those midfielders 12 months later are starting in Liverpool's midfield, which is great to see. But I did say last year that I was going to take 10 games before I, said what we would have been capable of. And after 10 games, I was fairly confident that we could be competitive and we had a very good chance of winning the league based on the results and the way that the season was starting to open up for Liverpool last year. That was based just on personnel playing. I've got to tailor everything now to, a manager's style, his tactics, what his expectations and what his demands are for this squad. So me personally, I'm going to probably take about 15 games and I, think, wow, that's half of a season almost. But it probably will take me that long before I am fully confident of what this whole new squad and system and style can achieve. Who else have we got? Dickie Oi Red, thank you very much. He says, cheers for a boss watch along, Errol. Another 2-0 win. Gravy looking good. Trent Slot stuff is nothing to worry about, in my opinion. Yeah, fair. I think my thing was just the poker face. I don't mind him being substituted off. I've got no problem with that, whether that's for fitness, whether that might have been, managing game time, whether that might have been one eye on Manchester United next week. I don't know. I have no problem with him being sent off. Where I don't want to get dragged into any real cause of concern is that discourse between the two. When the manager's there on the bench talking to Trent, just be neutral. If you feel a certain type of way, express that behind closed doors. Don't, because people will overanalyze. I'm sitting here now overanalyzing it, but you will get people online and they will try and make something more than it is. And I don't think it is. I think sometimes you're just in the moment and it's just raw and, all right, yeah, whatever. You want to give it a little eye roll or whatever, but it can just be misinterpreted. And I think early into his career, when things are going well, let's not make problems where problems don't exist. Let's not make it to be that there's some sort of friction when there may not be any friction. And I think as a professional, especially now Trent is a vice captain and then almost considered an elder statesman within this Liverpool squad, you've got to have a bit of a poker face and be able to just take it on board, take the feedback and keep it stepping. Let's keep moving. Dino says, who's excited by this game? Bro, I still get excited watching Liverpool in any game. I take your point. Is this the most exciting version of Liverpool that we have seen? No, I'll be blatantly honest. It's not, but you're very naive if at this moment in time you're expecting this to be the most exciting version of Liverpool at the moment. We're going to see elements of a Liverpool side that can show exciting moments, but we still got so much to work and tighten and fix because of the issues that we've had for probably about 18 months defensively and how open we've been at times and how frail we've been and going 1-0 behind in games and being on the back foot and having to work extra hard to get back in front and get into games. So it's not exciting, but a much more controlled, dominant Liverpool will be frightening for those teams, especially because, it'll be interesting to see. There's almost 2 tables going on and those 2 tables coincide to make the league in itself. Liverpool have got better quality than, at least, 14 of the teams maybe in the Premier League, at least 15. You want to swipe all them aside home and away. That's the perfect scenario in all of this. But then there are going to be the top 6 and the double headers that fall in that, and where do you stack amongst your peers in that respect? And I think if we can get back into that habit and that groove of being dominant over the teams that we expect on paper for us to turn up and beat every single game, that then puts fear into the games against the top 6 because it means more for them because they're going to have to make sure that they try and get something against us. And I think Liverpool need to push themselves into that bracket, into that conversation again, being a bit topsy-turvy where, you'll beat 10 out of that 14 teams, but you'll throw in 2 draws and then you might lose the 2. And then, it just means that you're a little bit, over reliant on the big 6 games, and then they're a little bit more of a double header and there's more pressure on you. Take that pressure off by making sure you dispatch all the teams on paper that you are capable of dispatching, but then also putting the fear of God into those teams that are going to be in and around you, challenging for top honours, because they know that you could be devastating on your day. I think that is the way that we really want to go for it. I've got people over in Discord, I should say, with some comments. Let's try and pull some of them out. What's the Discord chat saying? Asti and Errol, I'm looking forward to these pods. Are they still going to be on tomorrow with it being a bank holiday? That is a very good question, and one I don't have the entire answer to, I will be honest. But I'll find out before I go live in the next segment over on the player rankings, and I will let you guys know. But there will be content. You know what the lads here do. There'll be content between now, and if it's not Monday, it'll definitely be out on Tuesday. How's he doing? It's David. I'm done banging on about Nunes. It's all shake out because I actually trust Slots is going to do what works and will get the wins for the football club above any player loyalties. Interesting, some Nunes discourse back and forth, but over on YouTube, Dino says, Errol, I am 62 years of age and I've watched more football than you. Don't call me naive. Okay. You've made your point. I'm sorry. You tell me what it is that you want to see then from this squad, and we'll have the conversation. I ain't got no problems with that. But anyway, as we continue, we've got people. Who stood out for you in the chat? Let me know. Is there any Diaz? I've got Nigel saying it's a marathon, not a sprint. Any a win's a win. We've got some comments here. Let me know. Who stood out for you? What performances stood out? Any worries? Any concerns? Swamp and Nil there saying, why are people moaning after 2 games? The answer to that is because we are not exciting, my friend. Apparently we are not exciting. But either way, we won. It's boss. It feels boss to be winning games again. And you know what? Even better, it feels good to win games that mean something. I know it's still very early into the season, but it was, not last season, the season before. We didn't have the best start, and you could almost sense by mid-September the prospect of Liverpool winning the league was an outside chance of that, and obviously it materialised that we was nowhere near close enough or good enough to win the league, frankly. So I do find it interesting that now we're back in the mix. We've got a new manager. The squad seems refreshed. They seem to have a new energy about them, new instructions, all of those things. When you win games and you get off to such a good start, like we even said last week, we were sitting there, no Liverpool manager in their first games won their first competitive game in the Premier League. The best that they've been able to muster up is a draw. This is a completely different beast of Liverpool. What he has inherited is a completely different level and standard. So the expectation is that we go out and win. We go out and beat Ipswich. We go out and beat Brentford. We will rock up to Old Trafford and we'll go 7-up. That would be nice. That would be exciting. Some may say. Some might not say that. But I just think there is something to be grateful for that we're back. We know what to expect now because we kind of know where we're at almost in transfers. There's not been any business in terms of incomings that we can say they're going to be a game changer. So we know the stock. We can take stock of what we've currently got. And we can move on from that and say, right, well, there's 2 wins. We give ourselves a good foundation to kick on from. We want to go from 2 to 5. We want to go from 5 to 10. We want to rack up as many as we can in this process. And I think the team are well equipped to dispatch quite a number of sides. Especially in this league, as competitive as it is. Let's see this comment here. I love the way they modify the midfield, looked after the ball and dictated the tempo. Nice balance and made the most of the technical superiority. Yeah, I think that was more telling in the second half. I think at times in the first half we struggled to get to grips with that. I think there was just a few careless passes. There was no hospital balls, which was good to see because we've been guilty of that as well. Not just in the last game with Slot, but in plenty of times within Klopp's reign. And there will be hospital balls that get played. That's just part and parcel of football. But at the minute, I think it was just more taking care of the ball in the first half. We wasn't always up to the task. This is a nice comment. Love the new studio. Cheers for the nice watch along. Errol, can't believe people are moaning after a couple of 2-0 kickoffs to kick off the season. Cheer up, you guys. Yeah, and again, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'm not going to bash anybody for being critical or being, feeling a certain type of way. I just don't know what it is that people are expecting to see from this stage. And maybe that is, and again, I'm not saying anybody in particular, but maybe certain people or certain sections of the fan base are projecting their dissatisfaction of our transfer market into what's happening on the pitch, and I'm just like, just compartmentalise them. The lads that are on the pitch can't do F all about what's going on in the boardroom and transfers, so when they're taken to the pitch, we just got to support them. And I fully expect, irrespective of what's won in the next 12 to 18 months, Liverpool are going to play some frightening and exciting football when it all clicks, and we'll see highs and we'll see lows as a result of that. But right here and now, I said it in the build up. Jamie was here, Steve was in this seat. We said to you, 2-0, professional job, get in, get out, get done, keep it moving. Just keep stepping. We don't need to, empty the tank and go above and beyond right now, because we're still very much, we've got the training wheels on still. You know what I mean? And I think there's something in that. I like you. It might be, it probably is naive to think that we're going to put 7 past Man U, but 3 is that. It should be it. Quad pod there. Errol, comfortable was the key word today. We look so much more solid than we gave the ball away. It was incredibly noticeable. Let's keep on track. Yeah, I think it's fair to say. I think it was a comfortable performance from us in the end, and one where we was able to then play within ourselves. And I think there's something in that in terms of these footballers in particular. They know the extent and the levels it takes to go 1, 2, 3 seasons pushing for top honours and really trying to compete with the juggernaut that is Manchester City. That's become Manchester City under Pep Guardiola. And I think when you're having to do that, you realise how much it takes out of you. So how much better does it feel to be able to win games and still come off the pitch with a little bit of energy in the tank, save something on a reserve battery. And I use it because this is like a work analogy at the moment. I work with cars, and you've got a lot of hybrid vehicles at the minute, yeah? And I don't think the range on those hybrid vehicles is great. But when you've got an extra little 30 miles, you can burn out all of the petrol because you've got this electric engine that will still carry you through and take you home, and it'll get you to your end destination. And I think the more Liverpool have got that reserve battery there, game in, game out, by saying, right, 2-0, boom, we've done out the petrol, but we've still got all this energy now that we can just store up and use and recycle for the next. I think it's going to become more important because the games are going to come thick and fast. There is a new format of the Champions League. We're going to have the League Cup. At some point, we're going to go into the FA Cup. There is going to be a lot of football. And if it's true that, Arne Slots wants to use a smaller squad, those lads are going to have to do some professional performances sometimes, and that might mean as the end product as a fan, we're not getting this all-out heavy metal exciting football every single week in, week out. But as a results-based business, it might mean that we're in a better shape in a table, in a league, in a competition, because we're able to get the job done, because we've got lads still fit, lads got the energy, and lads understand that it is a marathon and it's not a sprint. I think that is key there. Let's see what else. Who stood out? Let me know now who stood out for you guys, because I'm about to go over and do the player rankings in probably the next 5 to 10 minutes. So let me know, who do you want me to talk about? Who do you want me to wax lyrical about? Who didn't live up to the expectations? If there is anybody who did. I've got Big Papa Pump there in the chat on Discord. I think he's one there saying gravy. Oi, 2-2, people were doubting my man. People were doubting Ryan Gravenberch. Gravy, baby. And look at this now. I know the football fan media community is out there. They do what they do. They clip us when we win. They clip us when we lose. They can't wait. They're praying for the downfall. Liverpool haven't spent no money. Liverpool are broke. Liverpool are skint. Liverpool aren't serious. We've just had Ryan Gravenberch been transformed, repackaged, repurposed, upcycled into a number 6 2 games in and he's running the show once again, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It is great to see that we're able to do that. Nigel Smith says Szoboszlai, Diaz, Canate. There we go. A couple other names getting mentioned. Nos says Diaz has end product. These are the things we love to see, because I've been saying to people, my criticism of Diaz started and finished with output. That was it. I like watching you play football. You're an exciting player. You've got the pace. You've got the energy. You've got the hunger and the desire, which I think goes a long way to really winning over fans. But it's your output. And again, had we have had Diaz before Mane, maybe you turn around and say, all right, raw, like, boom. We go from one level and then you go up a level because you've just got someone who's a proper killer in Mane. But to go the other way round, you just know that there's room for improvement. You know that if we want to be more balanced across that forward line, that the complement of that Salah was having somebody that was not as clinical, but clinical enough on the other side. So when Salah has moments like he did today, where his touch was woeful and piss poor at times, you'd have another man there that was quite very capable of being able to stand up to the task and deliver. And Luis Diaz did that today exceptionally. So yes, I think you are right when you say Luis Diaz was really about that life today. Nigel says, extra gravy on the Sunday roast. Oh, I love it. I do. Who else? Oh, I like this as well. Truth in plain sight says, even our subs look hungry for minutes. Yeah, and why wouldn't they? They're probably seeing right now, Liverpool seem to be well oiled. They're ticking over. The side looks well gelled together for the most part, considering, as an entire squad, we haven't had the longest time all back together. But the lads that are there trying to make a name for themselves are only going to get a handful of minutes and able to do that. So they've got to come on and make an impact. And I think that's really important. Dickie Red says, at this stage, the team needs the ability to put in a good performances and get positive results. Slops putting in the work. The players are putting in the work. And we need to be patient. I should have really ended the show with that, because that is a bit of a mic drop in itself. Like, I couldn't have put it better. I genuinely think. And I think as Liverpool fans, I said this last week, transfer business and all the rest of it, when it wasn't going the way as fans wanted it to go, we always had the fallback of, we've got Jurgen Klopp and we know he'll work his magic and we know he's capable of working with what he's got. We've all kind of stepped into the unknown as Liverpool fans with the appointments of Arne Slots. And then the lack of transfers has then meant, where do we fall back? Because in terms of the required firepower that we desire and we need for a team, it's not necessarily there. What level is this guy going to be able to coach these players to? That's a question mark. We don't know. So then that breeds an anxiety around the fan base, where you not necessarily doubt the individuals doing their job, but you doubt that the overall direction that you're going is the right direction. You think there could be a downward spiral in terms of your trajectory, and I think that is the key. The word there, it's that patience, being patient to see this through, allowing the time for the squad to do the work and Slot to do the work, and hope that in itself is still able to get an extra 5 or 10% out of the squad that we've got, and hopefully the people in the boardroom are still eager enough to be able to make the deals happen at the right time, for the right price, for the right people and personnel. People saying they agree with that. Who else have we got in there? Yeah, Jones was ill. That was why he missed out today. Glenn Marley says, it was a great win. We are better out without Nunes, and Arnie knows it. I think Nunes' time will come. I think the Nunes thing with Jota is, Jota's fit right now. And when Jota's fit, right, he didn't score today, but when Jota's fit, give him a couple of chances, and Jota's good for it. So we've got to do that. There will be a time and a portion of the season where we're going to have to rely on Nunes, and I really do, want as many Liverpool fans as possible to really get behind him and back him, because at the end of the day, he wears the red of Liverpool. He's still our player, and he's still a talent. He's very raw, and it might not have clicked for him in the first 2 years, but writing him off completely, I just think it's daft while he's on our books. We've had some dross playing for us over the years up top, and it maybe again because I wasn't this close to a football community online in a way, and it was just people that I knew. Yet you'd slag off the Balotellis, you'd slag off the Ricky Lamberts, you'd slag off the Argo Ash passes. You know, there was moments where you'd slag off those players because they simply wasn't good enough, and he was never going to take Liverpool to where they needed to be. But people still stuck with them. Do you know what I mean? People still understood that, you know, you had to still give them time and give them opportunities. I think the same needs to be said. Bruce says, even if Jota is fit, I can see Slot playing Gakpo as the centre forward. Slot won't play Nunes if he can't be consistently onside and easy plays. Yeah, and maybe that's true. Maybe Nunes has got to do a little bit of coaching and has got to be work to be done. I think that's fair. You know, I think that's fair, and I think there are a few players like that. I think there's Diaz that's got to work on training. I think Canate is another one that's got to work on training. Gravenberch is certainly going to have continual training to be able to implement the role of this system and the six. And they're just, you know, three off the top of my head. Carl Smith says, did Trent look pissed off on the bench? He did look a little bit disgruntled, but again, Steve had no issues with that. I had no issues with the substitution. I just wish he would have had a bit more of a poker face rather than showing openly the frustration, especially when the manager's talking next to him. If he'd have just been sat there on his own looking vexed, I'd have been like, that's a guy that's angry that he's not seeing out the game. But the fact that you're having a bit of a back and forth with the manager, and then the manager goes and you're kind of giving him a bit of a, I know better than you look. Not a good look. But that's just my 2 pence for that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming close to that moment in time where I will be moving over to the player rankings board and we'll be ranking your players. So make sure you do stick around and stay tuned. Don't forget, Redmen Plus, there is an offer running right now at the moment as well. If you type in the new Gaffer's surname Slot as a discount code, you will get 50% off your yearly subscription to Redmen Plus. I think that is an absolute bargain. Gives you all access areas to all of the Redmen content, from watch-alongs to podcasts to player ratings, all of those shows, instant match reactions, everything that Liverpool and the Redmen do here live. You will get plenty of content, so it is a value for money there, ladies and gents. And yeah, as I say, thank you very much for sticking around, being active in the chat, because as I say, sometimes it is nice to just be able to bounce off some of the comments and just see what your thoughts are and what you're thinking. And yeah, I think from that perspective, I think we've pretty much touched all bases. Baldwin, I'm gonna end with you. Where can I show it? Will it come up? Oh, have I messed up on the admin? There was me trying to be all cute and shit, and then there we go. Win, clean sheet, and no injuries. We'll take it. Right, I'm gonna hit the button. We're gonna go for a break, and I will be back over on that side in a moment. See you soon.